What's up, everyone? My name's Levi, and welcome to the Inglorious Film Nerd Podcast. In today's episode, we're going to cover the 98th Academy Awards nominees. I'm going to give you my opinion on what should win, are the nominees good, what I'm going to predict to win, if there were any notable snubs at the ceremony. So stick around for all of it. We're going to start out with our first category, Best Picture. And first off, I'm going to say, this is an amazing lineup. I've seen all of these movies. Each of them are incredible. They are all at least an 8 out of 10, in my opinion. We've got Begonia. We've got F1 the movie, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Again, I've seen all of them. I would recommend all of these to everyone. I think everyone should see these movies. That being said, I was not predicting all of these to get in. I did not expect F1 to get in at this category. That genuinely surprised me when I saw that nomination. I thought that slot was going to go to It Was Just an Accident. It's an international film that France submitted by Jafar Panahi. He's an Iranian director, and I saw that movie and I thought, that's a crazy good movie. I really think the Oscars should go for that. And the main reason I thought that was because It Was Just an Accident, despite the fact that it's been losing steam recently, had a viable nomination package where I knew it was going to be nominated for at least an original screenplay and non-English film, or best foreign film, if you will. Like, it had a shot in Best Director, but again, Panahi was kind of losing steam because they didn't win anything at the Golden Globes, which I think is kind of sad. But even then, I'm like, nothing really has the steam to overtake it, though. So I'm sure It Was Just an Accident will get in. I was wrong. F1 did get in. And in hindsight, it makes sense that 3 international films didn't make the lineup. And if they were going to go for a big budget blockbuster movie, F1 makes sense. Especially over titles like Wicked for Good and Avatar Fire and Ash, which were big blockbuster movies that did have Oscar potential in the early days, but they mainly both kind of faded away. And Wicked for Good, it got 0 nominations this year. It's just crazy. I thought it was at least going to get 2, which we'll get to those categories, but it got 0. I can't stop laughing. I'm sorry. No disrespect. I was a Wicked 1 stand. I love that movie, even if I do think it did overperform at the Oscars last year. So maybe that's kind of the extent where, like, now it critically underperformed. It got shut out after overperforming last year. Where like the first one got 10 nominations. The first Wicked got 10 nominations. And the second one had to exceed that expectation in order to, I think, even get nominated for anything. I think even if the second one was better, it probably would have gotten less nominations than the first one. I mean, we've seen this with like movies like Dune. I would say the second one was better than the first one. But even then, the second one got nominated for less Oscars than the first one won, which, again, crazy. That's another topic for another day. But again, it shows the high standards that a sequel has to be in order to get recognition from the Oscars. But again, I'm fine that Wicked for Good was left out. I was not as big of a fan of that movie as I was the first one. And so it not getting into Best Picture, I'm completely fine with that. I'm also fine with Avatar Fire and Ash not getting in. But what the movie I think should have gotten in over that F1 spot, I think it should have been No Other Choice. I recently saw that movie in a movie theater a few weeks ago, and I had an amazing time. It was incredible, guys. If you have not seen No Other Choice, I would highly recommend it. It is a beautiful, funny, dark movie about a Korean guy who loses his job and the way he goes about trying to get his job back. And it's crazy. The twists and turns of that movie, they're amazing. It's directed by Park Chan-wook. It was written by Park Chan-wook. The editing is amazing. The acting by Lee Byung-hung, if that's how you say his name, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. And the rest of the cast are all stellar. And that also got 0 Oscar nominations this year. And I'm actually kind of mad about that because that movie made my top 10 of the year, which is an upcoming video or episode, depending on what format you're watching this on. And I would highly suggest sticking around the channel later so you can see that. No, but moving on, yeah, No Other Choice should be nominated. I would nominate it over F1 because even though F1 isn't my least favorite of the nominees, it is the one that I just feel like kind of sticks out as like it's nominated because it's fun. It's not necessarily nominated because it expands on the genre of film in the same way that something like Sinners or One Battle or Marty Supreme does. It just feels like it's kind of there to give like people who watch the Oscars will know what one of the movies is. If you know what I mean. I feel like a lot of people who watch the Oscars will know what F1 is, and that might be it. I'm sure a lot of them will know what Sinners is too. I mean, but like F1 does kind of feel like the blockbuster pick. And we do have like one of those every year, so it does make sense why it's there, but again, I would choose No Other Choice. I would also choose No, it was just an accident over it. And maybe hot take, I think Jay Kelly should make this lineup. I understand that might not be the most popular choice, but I'm a Jay Kelly defender. Although I do think that's also because I'm an actor, so I connected with that movie a lot. So it would make my personal lineup. I'm fine with it not making the actual lineup. But yeah, moving on though. My pick to win, if I could choose the winner, I would pick One Battle After Another. To me, that is the movie of the year. When we look back on this year in 10 years, when we look back to 2025, we're going to go One Battle After Another. That's the movie that we're going to remember. That movie did so much. It's beautifully written, beautifully directed, beautifully acted by everyone. The cinematography was incredible. The editing was incredible. Everything about that movie. And I really loved how you could tell it sort of had an agenda, but it didn't try to force any of the opinions onto you. I think Paul Thomas Anderson was really good at showcasing, like, this is the problems that exist right now, and you need to decide what to do about it. I'll make an episode about One Battle later on, but just so you guys know, I love that movie, and I think it should win. And as for my prediction, I'm going to predict One Battle to win. I think with everything going on right now, I think it does have the juice to win. Got 13 nominations, so it's in a really good spot. I'm predicting it to win some key categories, but the one that could upset, and I do think it is the only film that could upset, is Sinners. Sinners got 16 nominations. It's a very impactful movie. It was a very, very successful movie at the box office. It made a lot of money. And if it was going to win, I wouldn't be too mad about it. Now, it's not even my second favorite in the category because, again, I think this is a stacked category. But if Sinners was to be One Battle, I wouldn't be too mad about it. I would be happy, in fact. But, again, if I could pick the winner, my pick would be One Battle. Moving on, Director. Again, stacked lineup. We had a competitive year for Director this year. It was super competitive. So the fact that these five were able to rise to the top and be like the five that got nominated, I think is really impressive, and I think all five of them are deserving. We've got Chloe Zhao for Hamnet, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, and Ryan Coogler for Sinners. Again, some notable snubs. We have Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, Jafar Panahi for It Was Just an Accident, Park Chan-wook, my boy, for No Other Choice, and Yorgos Lanthimos for Begonia. I don't really know if there was like anyone else in the conversation. I guess the guy who directed The Secret Agent, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he did a really good job directing that movie. So I think he was also kind of in the conversation. But yeah, I think these five are incredible. There's no one that I would really take out of the category because I think all of them are so deserving. I mean, I would like Park Chan-wook to be here. I don't know who I would take out to put him in. Like, all of these are so stacked. I think this is like one I think I would go 5 for 5. Like, these are the best directed movies of the movies I've seen of the year. So yeah, great job, Academy. You did a good job with this category. And I'm sure not a surprise to any of you, my pick to win would be Paul Thomas Anderson. Just listen back to my reasonings. I said in One Battle After Another for Picture. He did an incredible job directing that movie, and he's never won an Oscar for screenwriting, for producing, for directing, and I think this is his year to finally win. And I'm going to predict him to win as well. I think he's going to win. He's been sweeping director so far this year, and I think he will continue to even the point where if Sinners does beat one battle for Best Picture, I still think Paul Thomas Anderson wins Best Director. All right. Moving on. Best Actor. Again, you guys are just going to hear me gush about how amazing these categories are. I love these categories. I think it's especially because I've seen a lot of the movies this year. I'm still catching up on a couple titles, but I've seen every acting nominee, every directing nominee, every picture nominee, every screenplay nominee. So I'm very caught up on what all of them are. And I've even seen some of the ones that I was predicting to get in but didn't. And I'm really happy with everything the Academy's done so far. Again, Best Actor, we got Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan for Sinners, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. Again, love it. I will say, very notable snub, Jesse Plemons for Begonia. He came really close to getting nominated. Like, he got the SAG nomination over Wagner Moura, and he also got a BAFTA long list mention over Wagner Moura. So that means that he was in real contention to get nominated, especially because Begonia was in picture. But again, I am glad that Wagner got nominated over Jesse, though, because Jesse, he is a previous nominee, Wagner is not. So now we get to say Academy Award nominee Wagner Moura, whereas like nothing would really change. Like, we would still say Academy Award nominee Jesse Plemons. And also, I don't think Jesse really had a big chance to win this year. He's amazing. I think it would be cool if he did win. I just don't think he would have been competitive to win. So I think it's cool that we can give that slot to Wagner instead, get more international representation in. And trust me, Jesse will be back for a nomination. Also, some other notable snubs. Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams was looking like he could be a thing for a little bit. That also didn't really come to fruition. Oscar Isaac for Frankenstein is someone I wish got more attention. Like, I think Jacob Elordi is the more impressive performance in the film. But in my opinion, the film would not work without Oscar Isaac's performance. He's the glue that holds that together. You needed someone like him to play Dr. Frankenstein, and I think he should have gotten more attention. I don't know if he should have made the lineup, but I think he should have gotten more attention by people. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson looked like he could be a thing for the Smashing Machine. I saw that performance. He was very good. I don't think he necessarily needed an Oscar nomination for it, especially in this competitive of a season. But I think he'll be back later on. Also had Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Will Arnett for Is This Thing On? Lee Byung-hun, no other choice. I would have loved to see him here. George Clooney for Jake Kelly. Like, guys, I don't think you actually know. Looking at this from like the start of the year when like we only had the announcements of all these movies, we had so many possibilities for Best Actor. Like, we also had Daniel Day-Lewis for Anemone, Brendan Fraser for Rental Family, Hugh Jackman for Song Sung Blue, Colin Farrell for Ballad of a Small Player. Like, so many possibilities. But I think they settled on the right five. Maybe you could swap Jesse Plemons in there for someone, and it would still be really good. As for my pick to win, now some of you might expect me to say Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, and for a while he was my pick to win until I saw Timothée Chalamet and Marty Supreme. But guys, I think this is Timothée Chalamet's best performance. He's unbelievable in that movie. What he does in that movie is like incredible, because like I hated him so much, but I'm also rooting for him to win. And that's very hard to do, and I'm always curious about what he's thinking of. And yet I never know what he's going to do next. And that's very hard to pull off. Timothy was just incredible. He was electric. He played every emotion perfectly. I think he should win. And he's also my prediction to win. I do think there is a world, though, where either Michael B. Jordan or Leo, or even Ethan Hawke, in a way, could beat him. Like, I don't think Timothy has this wrapped up in a nice little bow. But I do think he's on the path to where that is going to happen. And I want him to win. I think he's going to win. Let's freaking go. All right, next up, Best Actress. Guys, this is the first time where I think I'm going to have to say it. I don't think they got all of these correct. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say that because we've got Jessie Buckley, Hamnet, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue, Renata Reinsve in Sentimental Value, and Emma Stone in Begonia. And I'm going to say it right now. I loved Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue. I don't think she should have gotten the nomination. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Kate Hudson fans, to people who saw that movie. I love her in that movie. I remember in my Letterboxd review, I said I wish this year was less competitive so she could get more awards contention. I guess it's coming back to bite me because I didn't want her to get nominated over Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another, which I really wanted to happen because Chase Infinity, she's unbelievable in that movie. That's her first performance. And I don't think that being new should automatically disqualify you from getting a nomination. Like, it shouldn't matter. But in the end, it kind of always does. And also, Kate Hudson hasn't been nominated for a long time. And so I think this is okay for now. Like, Chase Infinity will have another time. Like, she's not going to stop after One Battle. I think she'll be back at the Oscars for something. But yeah, Kate Hudson's there instead. I would also have preferred if Amanda Seyfried got in for Testament of Anne Lee. I just saw that last night, and Testament of Anne Lee was completely shut out from the Oscars, like, before it even began. Like, the Oscars released, like, shortlists where they'd, like, say, like, what's in competition to get nominated, and Testament of Anne Lee did not make any of them. Like, not costume design, not production design, not makeup, not even, like, score or song, even though it's a musical. And yet Tron Ares made both of those shortlists, so I'm really confused about that. And I think that really did ruin Amanda Seyfried's chances. And honestly, yeah, I would have her in over Kate Hudson, but also over Emma Stone. Not because Emma Stone is bad in Begonia, do not get me wrong, she's incredible in Begonia, but just because Emma Stone literally just won this category 2 years ago, and she won it before that also for La La Land, so she's already won this twice, and I think we could have given, like, room for Amanda Seyfried to get her first nomination. But I'm fine with Emma Stone getting in. She was incredible. Kate Hudson's the one that I'm like, it's a populist choice over the ones that I think are better performances. But again, I'm not too mad about it. It is an incredible performance. Again, I said in my Letterboxd review, I think she should get awards contention. And I guess I'm okay with it. She's definitely not my pick to win, though. My pick to win is Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. Oh my gosh, guys. She's the best performance of the year. I do not say that lightly. A lot of people were saying that to me, like, online. And I'm like, okay, like, I have to see this for myself. I'll see if it's true. And oh my gosh, she makes you cry in Hamnet. She's the best thing about it. She's probably the only award Hamnet's going to win, because that's also my prediction. I think she's going to win. I think she's going to sweep the season. And it is going to be so deserving. She's so incredible in that movie. I guess as a runner-up, I would say Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, because she's so good in that movie. It does confuse me why she was put in the best comedy category in the Globes, because nothing about that movie reads as a comedy to me. If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You is nowhere near a comedy. I guess it's because Conan O'Brien's in it, but he's not even a comedic role. He's a dramatic role, so that confuses me. But I'm glad she was there, because then she won that category, which helped her get nominated, because If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You isn't nominated anywhere else. So yeah, I'm cool with that. I like this category. I would have Chase Infinity or Amanda Seyfried, probably Amanda Seyfried now that I think about it, in over Kate Hudson, and maybe I'd also have Infinity over Emma Stone. But that's just because Stone was nominated. Nothing against her performance. Oh, she was nominated before. Not that she was nominated. You guys know what I mean. No, but yeah, my pick and prediction is Jessie Buckley. Now, Best Supporting Actor. This was where there was a huge surprise. So our nominees are Benicio del Toro, Jacob Elordi. I'm sorry, I'm not saying the movies. Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo for Sinners, Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Now, all of these performances are phenomenal, but I was not expecting Delroy Lindo to get in. Not because he's bad in that movie. I loved him in Sinners, and I was rooting for him to get in early on. It's just he wasn't getting nominated at any of the precursor ceremonies. So I was like, oh, he's probably dead. He's not getting in. Like, Miles Caton got nominated over him at SAG. So I'm like, Miles Caton looks like he's the supporting nomination for that movie, if that even happens, which I didn't even think that was going to happen. But then Delroy got in. And I'm really happy about that. but I'm also really mad that Paul Mescal for Hamnet got snubbed because I love him in that movie so much. But I can kind of live with it because Delroy's never been nominated before, and Paul has. Like, Paul was nominated for After Sun, and Delroy has been snubbed, I believe, for a movie called Divine Bloods. I've actually never seen that. I've just heard that a lot of people predicting him to get nominated early on were saying it's because he got snubbed, so this can be like a makeup for that. And it does look like he did get that, and I'm happy for him. And honestly, he wouldn't even be the person in this category I would take out to make room for Paul Mescal. That person is, I hate to say this because I love this movie, Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. I love him. I love him in that movie. I just don't think he does anything that like stands out as an actor in that movie. Like, he's incredible, he's funny, he's likable. I just don't feel like he's like doing a performance and I'm like, that's like the best performance of the year. Like, Paul does that. He has moments in Hamnet where he does that. So I feel like I would have him here over Benicio, but I'm not too mad about it again. All of them are amazing. I would say my pick to win in the category, this might surprise some people, but I think it's Jacob Elordi and Frankenstein. Some of you might be like, you're not choosing Sean Penn. And I'm like, as much as I love Sean Penn in One Battle, I think Jacob Elordi is my favorite supporting performance of the year. Especially because he wasn't even supposed to play Frankenstein's monster. Andrew Garfield was. And so then Andrew couldn't do the movie, so they brought in Jacob last minute. And what he does is incredible for a last-minute actor. He's just incredible, and he's the heart and soul of the movie. I love him. I believe everything. I believe the character arc he has, which is going to be very hard for someone like the Creature. And he humanizes him so well. I love him in that movie, but I don't think he's my prediction to win, though. I think Stellan Skarsgård is going to win this. Like, even though this category is very chaotic, different people have been winning at different places, and like Delroy got in over Paul. Like, I think Stellan could win this, though. I think he could win this. I think he's got the narrative. He's never won before. I think this will be one of his last chances to win, and I think they'll want to award sentimental value with an acting prize because they got 4 nominations in acting. We'll go over the last 2 in the next category, but I think this is the category where you give sentimental value an acting prize, and I think it's Stellan Skarsgård. And then the last acting category, supporting actress. We've got Elle Fanning from Sentimental Value, Inga Ibsdottir Lilias. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. From Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan from Weapons, Wunmi Musaku from Sinners, and Teyana Taylor, One Battle After Another. Now this category was so chaotic, guys. It was really hard to predict. We had so many people who looked like they were possibilities. Like, we had Ariana Grande. She got in pretty much everywhere for Wicked for Good, and she's not here because that movie did not get anything, which I'm okay with because she was nominated last year. I think she might have actually been my pick to win the Oscar last year, but I'm fine with her not being here this year. I think it's fine because I don't think any of these people besides Amy Madigan have been nominated before, so we're giving more people a chance. Then also Odessa Azion for Marty Supreme, also tragically not here, but she's also a newer face, whereas like all of these people have like other bodies of work you can point to, so it also makes sense. And I do think, like Chase Infinity, she will be back later. She will be back later on for an Oscar at some point. And then also Emily Blunt for The Smashing Machine. That looked like it could be a thing, and I really did not want it to be. I'm sorry to Emily Blunt stans. I'm also an Emily Blunt stan, and she was great in that movie, do not get me wrong, but I don't think she should have been, like, not over the people who got nominated, or even people like Odessa. Like, moving on, my pick to win is Teyana Taylor, One Battle, guys. I'm not gonna hide that. I think what she does in that movie with the amount of screen time she has is really impressive. It's so impressive. Like, she really just does grab a hold of you. And despite disappearing after the first 30 minutes of the movie, you feel her impact the whole movie. Like, she's always in the back of your mind. You're thinking about, dang, she was really good. And she just does the most with the least, if that makes sense. she'd be my pick to win. And she is also who I'm going to predict to win. Because I love Elle Fanning and I love Inga in that movie. I think they're going to split the vote. And so that's why I don't think they're going to necessarily... I don't think either of them has a chance to win because of that, even though both of them would be deserving. Like, all of them were deserving. Amy Madigan did just win the Critics' Choice, so she could win, but I feel like because Weapons isn't nominated anywhere else, she would have had to sweep the season. And she did just lose the Golden Globe to Teyana Taylor, which is why, again, I'm going to predict Teyana Taylor. Womney is the only one who I could truly see coming in and taking it, because she could win the BAFTA award because she's British, but she also wasn't nominated at the Golden Globes, but that's because I don't think the Golden Globes liked Sinners as much as the rest of the voting bodies, like award show precursors. So, yeah, Womney definitely does have a shot, but I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to say Teyana Taylor, and she would be my pick. So let's move on to the writing categories. We'll start with original screenplay. And this one was both the easiest and the hardest category because four of these nominees were obviously going to happen, and one of them, and the final spot was so up for grabs that people were literally grasping at straws to guess what it was. And so the nominees are Blue Moon, It Was Just an Accident, Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. And some of you can probably guess that the one that was spot that was up for grabs was the spot that Blue Moon got. Because Blue Moon was not nominated at any writing precursor. Well, it might be nominated at BAFTA and at the Writers Guilds, but we didn't have those nominees. Like those nominees come out in like 3 days. Like, we didn't have those nominees when we were predicting this, so it was really hard to try to make that prediction. Some other options that could have gotten that fifth spot are like Sorry Baby. That option was really cool. I saw that movie on a plane when I went to New York, and I really liked it. I thought the screenplay was the best aspect of that film, so I'm like, if Sorry Baby can get any nomination, I hope it's screenplay. But I also really love the Blue Moon screenplay, so like, I can't be too mad. But I think The Secret Agent was also an option, but I think what I was predicting for a long time until I finally moved it out because the movie was dead was Jay Kelly. I really did love the screenplay in that movie. Some people say it was clunky. I don't think it was. I think it was actively trying to remind you were watching a Hollywood film, and some of the scenes were just incredibly well written. Noah Baumbach, great writer, also great director, but the movie was just really dead, so that spot stopped being an obvious 5, and so then we had to try to guess what would get in. And I'm really glad it was Blue Moon. I thought Blue Moon had incredible dialogue, it's delivered by incredible actors, and I think that's the reason the movie works as well as it does, is because the dialogue is so snappy, it keeps you entertained despite the fact that you stay in one location the entire movie. That being said, Blue Moon is not my pick or prediction to win because, again, it just barely slid in. Now, actually, all of these would be a great winner. I don't think It Was Just an Accident has a chance to win because it didn't even win at the Globes. Marty Supreme, while that would be a cool win, and honestly, that would be my pick to win. The screenplay of Marty Supreme is insane. Like, you never know what is going to happen in that movie, like, at any point. And that is wholeheartedly thanks to the screenplay and the direction, of course. But Josh Safdie also wrote the screenplay, so yeah, that would be my pick to win. Sentimental Value isn't have a chance to win. It's in second place, but I think that this is Ryan Coogler's Oscar. I think it's going to go to Sinners because the story of Sinners is incredible. The way it blends all of the genres is incredible. It's like all of the dialogue, all the characters are written with such richness to them. None of them feel flat, except for like a few, but like they're like side gimmicky characters, and it's normally okay for them to not be fully fleshed out. Like, that's not a complaint I'm going to harbor, and I love those characters, so again, no complaints. And I think this is where you give Sinners an above-the-line win, especially because it got 16 nominations. Ryan Coogler deserves an Oscar. This is what they're going to give him it for. And then we go to the next screenplay category, and that is adapted screenplay. And I went 5 for 5 predicting this because the nominees were pretty obvious. We got Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. Some snubs include Wake Up Dead Man, A Knives Out Mystery. I do think it's kind of sad that my favorite Knives Out movie is the only one that doesn't get nominated for screenplay. I do feel like that's kind of sad, but again, really competitive year. And are we really just going to give Ryan Johnson another nomination that he's not going to win? I do think he will win one day, maybe not for a Knives Out movie, but I do think he will win an Oscar one day for his writing. His writing's incredible. But yeah, that was unfortunately not going to happen. Oh yeah, No Other Choice. That is the other snub here. I think that should be here. I genuinely think that should be here. The screenplay was immaculate. And then, like, Park Chan-wook, I think, could miss directing, but the screenplay is the standout of that film. I would probably have it in over Frankenstein. As much as I love Frankenstein, I do think, because it's Guillermo del Toro's the one who did the screenplay and he's won an Oscar before, I think we can give this slot to No Other Choice. Just because it's not like that would affect Frankenstein's chances of getting Best Picture. It was nominated in enough other places. And I do think it is probably like my least favorite of these 5 screenplays. Unfortunately, I hate to say that because it is definitely not my least favorite movie of these 5, but I'm sorry. But yeah, but I do love that Frankenstein is here. Do not get me wrong. I'm happy it's here, but I would swap it out for No Other Choice. Moving on to my pick and prediction. Again, my pick is one battle and my prediction is one battle. Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Like, Paul Thomas Anderson is going to steamroll in the screenplay category. I don't feel like anything else is strong enough to win. There was a world where I did think Hamnet could win, but especially because Hamnet did underperform slightly, because, like, Paul didn't get in, and it also missed the tag nomination, which I'm going to get to later, but I just don't see it being strong enough to win over one battle, especially because Chloe Zhao already won an Oscar for Nomadland. Sure, that was for directing, but Paul's won zero zilch up to this point, so I do think, like, this is the most locked up category of the above the line categories. It's like, this is the one I'm like, I don't even have to think about it. It's going to one battle after another. All right, moving on. Best Animated Feature. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I think this is the weakest Best Animated Feature year we've had in a long time. The nominees are Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, or The Character of Rain, and Zootopia 2. Now, I'll be honest, I have not seen Arco, Elio, or Little Amelie, or The Character of Rain yet. Honestly, don't know why I haven't seen Elio. I guess I just haven't gotten to it. Well, I do know why. I'm waiting to watch it with my family. So we're just going to wait for that to happen. I'll probably like the movie well enough, but even then, if the movie was amazing, I don't think it would be enough to save this category from being kind of weak. K-pop Demon Hunters is the obvious standout movie of the year. Incredible animation, incredible story, incredible music, and that is my pick and prediction to win. Even though my favorite animated movie of the year is not even nominated. It's The Bad Guys 2, for those wondering. I just love that movie. I'm okay with it not being here, but maybe this is my hot take I'm going to throw out, and I will address this in a future episode. I think that The Bad Guys 2 is better than Zootopia 2. You guys can come after me for that one, but I'm just going to say it right now, and yeah, we'll get to that later on in the series. Don't you worry, but yeah. K-pop Demon Hunters should win, in my opinion, and I think it's going to win. Now, Best Foreign Film. Nominees are The Secret Agent from Brazil, It Was Just an Accident from France, Sentimental Value from Norway, Surat from Spain, and The Voice of Hinrajab from Tunisia. I've seen all of these except The Voice of Hinrajab, and that's because I was trying to only watch the ones that I thought had a chance of, that I thought for sure were going to get nominated and had a chance for Best Picture. And so I prioritized No Other Choice over The Voice of Hinrajab, which I will watch soon. I've only heard good things about that movie. But again, No Other Choice is not here. What are we doing? That is my favorite foreign film, and it's not here. I'm sure most people are sharing that sentiment online right now, and I think Park Chan-wook is probably really happy to know that even though the Academy doesn't like him that much, apparently he has a lot of dedicated fans who all love his movie. And in our hearts, that is the best foreign film. But again, yeah, I'm sure I love all of these ones, and without having seen The Voice of Hinrajab, we're just going to ignore that one for a while. I would replace Surat and put in No Other Choice, because I liked Surat, but not as much as No Other Choice. And also, I think Surat does have another nomination, which we'll get to, and I do think it deserved that one, but I would I would even give Sarat that nomination and not nominate for foreign film to put in No Other Choice. That is assuming, though, that I like The Voice of Hin Rajab more than Sarat, which we will see if I feel that way when I finally watch The Voice of Hin Rajab. But moving on to my pick and prediction, this one is hard because it is very much a two-way race between Sentimental Value and Secret Agent for the win. My pick would be Sentimental Value. I think that The Secret Agent could win this, but I do think Sentimental Value is probably going to win, though, because Secret Agent might have beaten Sentimental Value at the Globes, but Sentimental Value, it has the director nom, it has the screenplay nom, it has 4 acting nominations, and it has an editing nomination. That's a spoiler for later on. That's one of the categories I'm going to cover in this episode, but yeah. I think that it deserved all of those, and I do think it'd be my pick to win, and I do think it is just the stronger film in terms of nominations. So I think Sentimental Value is going to win, but it could also go to The Secret Agent, and I wouldn't be too mad about that. Go Brazil. We're going to skip the documentary and the shorts categories because I'm going to be honest, I don't follow those ones as well. I'm trying to get better at it. As a college student, I only have so much time in my life. But I swear next year for the Oscars, I will try to be better about it. I will try to watch all of them. Next, we're going to move on to the first new category in the Oscars. And I don't know how long it's been. I'm going to assume 20 years or something. We can look that up, though. Best Casting. Nominees are Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and The Secret Agent, and Sinners. Honestly, great lineup. All of those had phenomenal casting, especially in regards to, like, Marty Supreme and The Secret Agent casted a lot of non-actors, and those non-actors did a very good job. Like, Kevin O'Leary and Tyler, the Creator, and Marty Supreme, they killed it in that movie. Absolutely loved it. Oh, yeah. And then Hamnet, incredible casting between all the leads and minor characters. And Marty Supreme and Sinners had to cast like a lot of background people, or like people who only had a few lines. But then each of those people also made the most of their like few lines. And so that's impressive casting, and also casting of the leads in both of those movies. Incredible. I don't know how to predict this one because I don't know like what they go off of here to win. This one's probably going to be really weird to predict. My pick would probably be One Battle because I think that's my favorite movie, but I don't know, like, of, like, the roles, I'll just go with One Battle because I'm going to go with Marty Supreme. I think that's my pick to win because, again, casting a bunch of non-actors who ended up killing it, that deserves a reward in my opinion. So, yeah, I would pick Marty Supreme. My prediction is probably Sinners. I don't know why, I'm just getting that vibe that it's probably going to get the love. And, again, 16 nominations, I do think it will pick up a lot of awards. So I think this will probably be one of them. All right, here we go. Cinematography, baby. Nominees are Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. What is the big snub here? Hamnet. That really hurts my soul because I loved the cinematography in Hamnet. But also, I don't know what I would kick out here. I love the cinematography in all of these, so I'm not too mad. I was going to be really sad because it looked like Marty Supreme was not going to get into cinematography for a little bit, but then it made the ASC 5 and Hamnet did not, so then I'm like, I guess I can be happy because I like the cinematography in Marty Supreme better, but I'm also kind of sad Hamnet missed, but again, I can't be too mad because they're nominating so many good movies here. I think my pick to win going off of that would be Marty Supreme. I just think the cinematography is so creative. Or maybe Train Dreams. I'm feeling more Marty Supreme right now, but ask me tomorrow and I might say Train Dreams. Cinematography was the standout of that movie. My prediction to win, though, is probably Sinners. Mainly because of that one shot, the I lied to you sequence shot. Those of you who watched the movie, you know what I'm talking about. It's one of the most impressive shots of the year. And I think it might win just based off of that. And again, because I'm predicting Sinners to win a lot of categories. And it would also make the cinematographer, Autumn Arkapaw, the first African-American woman to win Best Cinematography. So I think that'd be really cool. She's the first African-American woman to get nominated for Best Cinematography. So if she won, really cool. Next, costume design. Avatar Fire and Ash made this category over Wicked for Good, guys. I don't know how to feel about that because, again, nominees Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. I do not understand how Avatar made this category. I get that it's like impressive because like you're animating the costumes on them, but does that mean that like any animated movie can win Best Costume Design? Like, are you making the costumes or can you just design them at this point? I just don't understand that. And Wicked for Good, I think should have gotten a couple nominations, and I think costume design should have been one of them. But yeah, we'll move on. I guess they wanted to give Avatar something else other than visual effects. But yeah, my pick in this category is Frankenstein, and that's what I'm going to predict to win. Again, Frankenstein. The technical aspects of that movie are incredible, and the costume designs are an easy standout. They do the period pieces so well. They do the creatures' costumes so well. They do, like, everything looks incredible in that movie, and it really just zooms you into the movie with the costume design. I think it should win. Best editing. This is a very interesting category. We have F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Hamnet was snubbed here, and Frankenstein was snubbed here, and Begonia was snubbed here. And what's interesting is normally it's weird because editing has kind of become one of those categories where if you want to win Best Picture, you need to get an editing nom, which is very weird. I don't know when that became the case, but I think it definitely started to become the case in like recency, especially last year where pretty much all of the films in this category were not the films I considered to be the best edited films last year, but they were all Best Picture nominees. So I guess that's why they got in. Like Wicked got an editing nomination, and like I love Wicked Part 1, but the editing was one of the weakest aspects in that film to me. So I was very confused why that got in over something like Dune Part 2. So Amelia Perez got in. So like, I just think they were going for like the top 5 in Best Picture with that. No, but yeah, I think this is a good category though. Like, I wouldn't say any of these are bad edits. All of these are good edits. My pick to win would probably be Marty Supreme. Or One Battle. I would say my pick would be Marty Supreme. The editing of that movie is very, very electric, very exuberant, very exciting, I think. And like you don't really notice the editing as much as I think you would. It's not as flashy as something like F1. Like F1's like very flashy editing. Again, good editing. I think deserves the nom, but like Marty Supreme's like a little more seamless. So was One Battle, but I think the editing is probably harder to pull off that seamless look when you're like doing the ping pong competitions. So that would be my pick to win. What I do think is going to win, though, I think it's going to be One Battle After Another. Because I think the edit in that movie is really good. I do think it's currently a little bit of the front runner, although you could argue Sinners is, so I guess maybe Sinners could win, but I'm going to predict One Battle. I'm worried F1's going to win just because they like letting car movies win Best Editing, but I don't really think that's going to happen, so I'm going to predict One Battle. But in a perfect world, I would say Marty Supreme wins Best Editing. Next, makeup and hairstyling. Nominees Frankenstein, Kokuo, Sinners, The Smashing Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. I'm not going to take too much time on this category because I haven't seen The Ugly Stepsister or Kokuo. I'll see those pretty soon, but like those are like, I wasn't expecting those to get nominated, but then they were, so now I'm like, oh cool, now I'll have to watch them. That'll be fun. But really good category. Pick and prediction Frankenstein, easily. Jacob Elordi, my gosh, he looks so good in that makeup. And also everyone else's period piece makeup also looks incredible, so I think that's going to win. Next up, production design. Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle, and Sinners. First off, really happy One Battle After Another got in because they normally don't go for contemporary set designs. So the fact that they're finally starting to open their hearts to that is amazing. The drop-off is that means they did snub Wicked for Good. But I think this is a category I'm okay with that because Wicked for Good did reuse a lot of its sets from the first one. They didn't really build too many new ones. Whereas like costumes and makeup, I didn't talk about makeup really quick, retroactively going back to makeup. Wicked for Good was snubbed there. I think it should have gotten into makeup. The makeup on the Scarecrow and the Tin Man was amazing. I don't know who I would put it in for yet because The Ugly Stepsister and Kokuo, again, I've not seen those films, but I will let you guys know when I watch those films and then I make my Oscar predictions. I promise you that I will remember that. If I don't, you guys, I will Venmo one person $10. I don't know. Forget. Okay, but moving back to production design, again, I'm fine with Wicked for Good not being here. Pick and prediction to win Frankenstein, guys. Frankenstein's gonna clean up in these tech categories. What can I say? Like, I've heard some people complain about the cinematography of Frankenstein, which I didn't really mind too much, but they cannot complain about the production design of that movie. It's incredible what they do with each of the locations. They look so real. They feel so lived in. Oh, I love it. I think it is very impressive, and I think it's gonna win. Next up, one of my favorite categories, Best Score. Nominees: Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. I'm going to say it outright. I'm mad Marty Supreme got snubbed. It hurts. It should be here. And I do, again, hate to say this because I love this movie. I would be fine with the Frankenstein score missing out for the Marty Supreme score. Because I love the guy who did the score, but he's already won 2 Academy Awards. So I think it'd be fine if he got to miss out this one. I think the Marty Supreme score is better than the Frankenstein score. So I think that'd be fine. I love the Begonia score. I love the Hamnet score. I love the One Battle score. And I love the Sinners score. So yeah, again, if you switch out Frankenstein with Marty Supreme, I think you have the perfect category right there. My pick to win is One Battle. I love the One Battle score. It's so amazing. I didn't expect like just piano keys to be so enticing, but it really just does add to the film in a way I didn't expect. And it just makes everything feel so I don't know how to explain it. Just like the music perfectly matches what you're seeing on screen in a way I've never really seen a movie do before, and I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna predict Sinners to win though, because Sinners has been cleaning up in these score precursors recently. It's by Ludwig Göransson. He's already won twice. He's one of the best score composers of all time, dare I say. Again, I would love if Johnny Greenwood got his flowers for One Battle, but I think Ludwig, unless Johnny Greenwood wins BAFTA, I think Ludwig Göransson has this one in the bag for Sinners. Next, my favorite category ever he says sarcastically, Best Original Song. We have Dear Me from Diane Warren Relentless, because of course we had to nominate Diane Warren again. Why not? It's not Best Song category if Diane Warren's not nominated. Then we have Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters, I Lied to You from Sinners, Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verdi. I have no idea what that is before that got nominated. I genuinely had no idea what that was. And Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Again, you'll notice no Wicked songs are here, which I'm low-key fine with. I did not really vibe with the new songs in the movie. I did not really vibe with Girl in the Bubble or No Place Like Home. I didn't think they were very good songs, so I'm fine that they're not here. But yeah, I have no idea what Dear Me is or Sweet Dreams. Well, I do know what Dear Me is. It's a Diane Warren song. I've just actively chosen to not listen to it yet. And Sweet Dreams of Joy, I'm going to have to watch that now because that got nominated for Best Song. But again, I think a big snub here, though, is Testament of Ann Lee. Clothed by the Sun is actually a really good song, and I think that should have been nominated here, especially because that does... Part of the reason I don't really like this category anymore is because it just feels like they nominate a song that's just in the end credits. It doesn't feel like we nominate a song that actually does something in the movie. And a lot of the times they nominate bad songs. Like last year, an Amelia Perez song won. Like, what? The Amelia Perez song won? I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like 2 years ago, I do think we had, actually 2 and 3 years ago, we did have really good best song winners with like Natu Natu from RRR winning, because that was a really awesome musical number from that movie. And then What Was I Made For Barbie winning. That was an amazing win because that movie, 1, I love that movie, but 2, that song is incredible and it adds a lot to the film. It's not just a song that they play during the credits of the movie. Like Train Dreams is played during the credits of Train Dreams, which it's a good song and I'm glad it's here, but like it is not really like adding to the movie in the same way that I Lied to You or Golden is, which so it makes us a really strong category this year, actually, just because of those 2 nominees. And my pick would be Golden. I know a lot of people would pick I Lied to You, but in my opinion, like I Lied to You and Golden are both incredible moments in the movie. I wouldn't necessarily listen to I Lied to You outside of the movie. Like I think what makes the best song winner for these are the songs that adds so much in the moment of the movie, like not just in the credits sequence, but just in the moment, and you just love it, and it's like a cool moment in the movie. But then you also just want to listen to it outside of the movie. I think that that's what makes it amazing, and that's why that's my pick for this category would be Golden. And I also think that it's gonna win. Like, I guess I Lied to You could win if they go all in on Sinners, but Golden's been winning all of the song precursors, and I think that they'll want to give. I think it'll mean more because Ludwig Göransson, he did I Lied to You as well as the score. So if he's gonna win for score, I hope that they just let the writers for Golden win, because then they'll get a win, and I just think that'd be really cool, especially if you learn their backstories. I think would be an amazing win. All right, we've only got 2 categories left, so let's bear with me with this. We've got Best Sound. Got F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Surratt. First off, Surratt's a really cool nomination, even though that movie wasn't like my favorite thing, but I thought that the sound design of it was some of the best sound design I've ever heard. Like, genuinely, when you walk away from Surratt, you will walk away remembering the score and the sound design. And the score didn't make it, again, competitive year. Marty Supreme didn't even get in. But yes, the Surratt sound, I'm glad that got in. Really glad that got in. Other snubs, Wicked was snubbed again. I'm not too mad about that one, though. Bruce Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, also did not make it. I think that probably would have made it if that was like a Best Picture contender, because I thought the sound was really impressive. Like, the biopic sounds, like the sound design in biopics is normally incredibly impressive, but I think because like that was the only like short list that movie got, and it wasn't like getting any other attention, not even for Jeremy Allen White. I just think it didn't have lone sound nominees do not happen that often, and it kind of sucks that happens, but I think you get used to it after a while. But I think my pick to win Best Sound here, honestly, Sinners. Sinners has immaculate sound design, guys. Again, that I Lied to You scene, the sound design in it, oh my gosh, when I was in the theater watching that scene, you feel the soul and the sound design that went into that, and it's incredible. My prediction is probably F1, because again, that sound design was also really incredible. I'm not gonna like knock on it, but like I feel like they'll probably go with that because I think it might be like the more typical sound winner. But I think a really cool winner would be Sinners. Sinners would be like a really cool sound win. And then final category, visual effects. Nominees are Avatar: Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. First off, I'm going to say I'm sad Superman's not here. I'm sad How to Train Your Dragon's not here. And Fantastic Four, The First Steps, also not here. Wicked for Good, also not here. But again, we knew that. Like Jurassic World Rebirth, I did not think that was going to get in because no Jurassic World movie has been nominated since The Lost World. I forget when that was. I think that was like 1997. Yeah, 1997. So like Jurassic World and Fallen Kingdom and Dominion and like the Jurassic Park 3, none of those were nominated for Best Visual Effects. So I'm surprised that they finally went with this one. But I guess it's cool. I haven't seen it yet. I think I have to now because it is a Oscar nominee, and I'm gonna watch all of them, and I will do a video where I rank every movie nominated for an Oscar this year, so stay tuned for that one. But I think this category is like, again, I might bet my life savings on this category because I'm so confident it's going to be Avatar: Fire and Ash, and that would also be my pick. I saw that in IMAX. Dude, Avatar visual effects are something else, man. Knock on the movies all you want. The visual effects are some of the best ever. Like, it's incredible. I don't look at that and go, it's CGI. I look at that and I think it's real, but I know it's CGI. It's so weird to me. Like, there's not an uncanny valley with it. I fully believe what I'm seeing. I think it should win. F1 has really cool visual effects, and so does The Lost Bus, apparently, which I also need to watch. Sinners, I didn't think it had the most impressive VFX ever, but I'm glad it's nominated because it helped get Sinners over the 16 nominations thing, and I think it's cool that it's here. I don't know, maybe I would have chosen Superman over it, but I guess that's just me. I don't care. Like, Sinners can get that one. I'm happy with that. But again, yeah, Avatar's going to win this one, and we don't need to talk about it anymore. So yeah, those are all of my thoughts on the 98th Academy Awards. And I'm going to make some more episodes in the future I'm going to go over more in-depth what I think's going to win, and more in-depth what I would choose, more in-depth rankings of all of them. I might invite some guests on. Actually, in a lot of my future things, I'm going to try to have more guests on here. So I hope you guys stay tuned for that. Thank you for enjoying my debut episode of the Film Nerd Podcast. And remember, we're inglorious together.